This has that WandaVision kind of weirdness where it starts off kind of normal and they're talking, then she's all like, how many gods are there?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
who gods the timekeepers? I was like, if I had $1 for every time someone asked me that when I was drunk.
This just got really weird.
He's like, we get Owen Wilson back in this mix.
Yeah, he's my favorite character in the show, I think.
Yeah.
I like this because she doesn't realize the magic. So she doesn't know
That's
everything.
what I love about this. Like, she clearly hasn't been here before because she didn't know her magic.
I think she's
work.
one of Rudy Ray Moore's Kung Fu. What is it?
All-girl army of Kung Fu killers.
Yeah, that's
what he had. An all-girl. But that's what these guys like. Even though I was a magician who has used magic to defend myself from everything my entire life, I still know karate. Well, her plan has to be flawed anyway, because if there really are timekeepers, there's no way they're just letting those doofuses defend them. You'd never find them. Wherever you think you're going.
Well, they're definitely not in that door. I don't understand how this thing is going to protect them when that stuff's
It's harder. It's
going right through rock.
It's one of those things, though. As soon as they come in here, it's like we no longer have to worry about what's going on out there.
Yeah,
that's how
remember they
throughout
also
this episode.
Hitting the
remember
roof
they
or something.
This episode feels like a lot of convenient. Now we're here in this one location.
Like the theory that everything after this point is an illusion.
It kind of looked like she was trying to like seduce him a little bit or something there, which is super creepy. This looked like a little Star Warsy.
This reminds me of that, or like it also reminds me of Firefly too.
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
It feels like a little Firefly place.
Yeah, I could see
Where it feels like that second episode of Firefly at the beginning.
Yeah, the train one. Yeah, it even has a
there's
train
a
heist
train
in this
here.
episode. Yeah, this is a lot of Firefly kind of stuff going on here.
Whoa, smooth move, Loki. I think this is weird. He could have just gone invisible and just snuck in, right?
Well, he doesn't understand humor. This is just all for a joke.
This shows his mischievous nature because he's bad at actually doing functional things.
And
Like
it
he's
functionally
way
shows
better at
his,
messing with people.
Well, and I think it reminds people watching the show that power. They haven't shown him do that power yet, that he can turn into anybody. So if you're watching this, like, what? Who's Loki?
But every step of the way, he's bad at it. Like when they're like, "We'll get on the train. I'll pretend to be a guard right in front of everybody." I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
I
that
can
was
control
weird.
people's minds. What are we doing? Why isn't that the only plan?
Why didn't they leave before now? I mean,
Why are they
it's
dressed
like
for the
cracked in half.
opera?
Why does Loki use this voice here? It's hilarious.
Hey, that's what I mean. He's definitely mischievous. He's not good at
Yeah.
this.
I don't like it because they're playing it up like he's silly, making him goofy. Headquarters called and said you could let these guys on. He's like, all right. Like, man, who cares, dude? Just let them on.
Who's
I love how-
headquarters? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, this is some Snowpiercer stuff right here.
Yeah, for real. Where it's like
This train
opulence.
is wide. How big are the rails? I mean, look how
There's all
wide
that
this is.
space. It's like Snowpiercer.
Yeah,
The
it is.
babies tasted good.
Anyone that's ever been on a real train knows that they are not Snowpiercer big, and they are definitely not like this. They're tiny on the inside.
This is a space train, Brooks.
Is she Loki or is she not? She's apparently not from Asgard. I mean, Odin is not her dad,
Well, they never say that.
but it kind of sounds like that. He grew up royalty. She grew up.
But we don't know how long she's been a variant, so she could have been a little kid.
That's what
And
it
then
seems
maybe-
like, is that she was a variant from almost from childhood,
Like
from
little
so
age,
she's been
too.
running from the TVA most of her life.
And we don't know. Maybe she worked for them too, or something for a while. We have no idea.
That would be interesting.
Maybe
He's
maybe
not aware that they're not aware that they were variants. Like
Well, she's also not aware of how things work in the TVA, like
That's
the fact
true.
that her powers
Magic.
didn't work. She's never been there before. She knows about them, but she hasn't been in their headquarters before. And
Yeah,
she
see-
believes that she can find the timekeepers, which I would be shocked if they were literally there. But she's sort of in a state of arrested development from being chased since childhood by these things. Like she is sort of single-minded in a weird way, kind of like the way he's single-minded in the childish ways that he behaves.
Is this the first time in a Disney thing that somebody's been gender fluid like this, or bisexual? Basically,
Don't expect to get much more out of this. Like,
but I'm saying usually these stories we get like, yeah, Dumbledore was gay or all those things, but it's like no, this is the first time in a
it's
Disney
something.
property.
But
I like how
I
they
don't
play it subtly
expect
and
much
don't try to-
payoff.
I mean, well, because it's not a big deal. It should be not a big deal. But like,
in the first episode, they say he's gender fluid. And in this episode, he says that he's had like suitors
a little bit of both.
genders.
He's a little bit of both.
More likely because he has shifted from one gender to another. But
Yeah.
we probably won't see anything in the actual text of the story that
Yeah, but that's what I'm just
represents that.
It's still a moment, though. It's interesting.
it's something.
See?
It's not nothing, but
Skinny looking train.
compared to what? That could
This
be
looks
10
like a
feet-
miniature.
The tracks could be 10 feet
does
wide
look
there.
like
Then this
bro.
look like it looks like Mr. Rogers or something.
It doesn't
looks,
look. Yeah.
that shot reminds me of Gentleman Broncos. That feels like that
It
planet.
does have that feel.
Bronchitis.
Broncane.
Always be gentle. Then we'll just do karate then again.
Yeah, there's a lot of little fight scenes.
There's a lot of unnecessary action.
well, they
She
gotta
does a
spice
lot
it
of
up,
the
right?
Black Widow moves where she like jumps, puts her legs around someone's head.
Yeah,
like
and just
something-
does a little flip.
Yeah, we haven't seen him do that before. A little energy blast. He does.
Yeah,
a
like
couple times over him.
their magic seems extremely limited at this point. If their magic doesn't help them in this situation at all.
I know. And here, also this is another example of how the moon is getting bombarded, but conveniently not where they're sitting.
They don't feel any need to hide. Like in the lull of the conversation, if you look in the background, there are meteors crashing everywhere. But
Yeah,
they just
it's
stop
just a show.
and have a conversation. Whereas when they first got to the planet, they were running for their lives. And supposedly it's worse here than it was.
It seems like all these.
So
Marvel
there's
shows-
only one spaceship on this planet, and that's the Ark.
The Ark.
That's kind of weird, isn't it? There's obviously a spacefaring people.
Well, yeah, but they obviously don't plan ahead because they only have one spaceship and they're planning to leave like when the moon is 6 inches.
That's what
from
I'm
the
saying.
planet.
Like where?
That's a bad plan, guys.
And all the rich people are just casually getting on the train.
And they're
Walking
also,
up in their opera clothes, like, oh, that I believe. Like, this will be fine.
and this is almost exactly like the Winter Soldier episode 3. It's like just the plot super goofy, like, but it's really that was a bust of an episode. This
has character work. Like,
you learn all the stuff, like right where
in the
I mean this,
Falcon and Winter Soldier, there wasn't anything useful in that episode.
but
this
the
is
whole
kind of
episode
fun.
is worth the price of admission right here, which she tells them. Well, she confirms a variant thing.
Because every time you go to these future space places, it's just a neon nightmare in
Well,
every
but also-
movie, everywhere.
Well, everybody when they saw this thing, I've seen
Even
them in
Firefly
directions.
looked like this. When they went
Everybody's
on the
like,
planet.
this got a lot of Blade Runner, but I was like, this doesn't look like Blade Runner actually at all.
No, it
It's
doesn't
just
look
has
like Blade Runner.
It has neon, but anytime people say
It
neon
looks like
lights,
Guardians of the Galaxy, and it looks
Yeah.
like Serenity.
This looks exactly like Guardians 2. Remember, like that little
yeah.
prostitute planet or whatever they are.
It's just
Prostitute
generic,
planet,
trashy space
yeah.
planet.
This is a nice shot.
Like,
Realize
I'm
how
gonna
long this
grab
shot
you.
tracks.
Like, why?
Another blasting. That's a cool power he's never used.
Yeah, he should do that every time.
Yeah. Why can you only do that once or twice?
I wanted to watch this part again because I did not understand what happened the first time I saw it.
None of this makes a lot of sense of where they're going or trying to go. You know what I mean? This shot, it's just meant to look cool, and it
Yeah, I
does look
can't.
cool. when
I
you're
can't
like-
tell what they're trying to do.
Here, see, that's a time
he-
stone. 'Cause
Yeah, he just
stopped
reversed
that
that.
from
I
falling.
thought he at first. I'm like, was he using telekinesis or something? But no, you're
Yeah,
right.
but
it
you see
didn't look
how
like
it
telekinesis.
rewound
It looks like it
every round.
reversed in time.
Yeah,
That's like that to me says like
time
when
stone.
he took that time stone from the drawer back in the TVA, he pocketed
And we
it.
know he can do that. He had the Tesseract up in wherever last
See, now
time.
would be a good time to use that time stone.
Well, either he doesn't quite know how to use it or he's afraid to use it because of the TVA. But I kind of think in using it there,
now-
that's what's going to tip off the TVA.
Well, he might as well do it now. They're stuck.
Well, we'll see.
My
It just
theory
ends
was-
here, though, so we don't
Yeah,
know.
see, my theory was that Mobius is going to come save them.
Yeah, that's what I
Intending
think.
to save them. He'll come to arrest them, but that's how they're going to get out of this.
Well, that's what I think, and I think it's going to have something to do with that stone because they've already established that making changes in the timeline in an apocalyptic scenario doesn't make a difference. But I think if he used an Infinity Stone in that situation, that might trip a different flag.
Yeah, it'd be enough of a blip for them to notice.
Yeah, because I don't think he even intended to do that. I think it just happened naturally.
And Mobius knows that Loki and her ran off, and he knows to look for them in disaster zones. So he can narrow it down pretty radically.
Surely he's going to pop up. Also,
I mean,
because I just want him to show up again.
Yeah. I mean, what else could he do? How else could they get off the planet?
Are we talking about the theory that the TVA's in the quantum realm?
No.
Because you think about it,
the Kang thing.
Well, because that's what it's called. Yeah, it's in the Ant-Man thing, and that's why magic doesn't work there, because it wouldn't work at that scale. Like, another thing, it's not like some weird,
like the stuff Ant-Man goes into that realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because remember, there's
quantum mania, man.
Weird.
Well,
like how.
Well, in Ant-Man 2, there's a shot, and they barely see it, and there was more like a deleted thing, where when he goes to rescue the mom, Janet, you can see like a cityscape in the background.
Yeah, and those are people were saying that's where Kang is from.
There's people that live in the quantum realm.
How weird.
They're saying that, but they were saying like maybe that's why, because the time works differently there, and that's what they said exactly about the quantum realm, and it's the same quote they said about the TVA. So it's like, so what if that's why, one, the time is kind of standing still there, and it's also because that's why the magic and kind of powers and Infinity Stone kind of things don't work, because it's like at a different sort of, you know what I mean? Like, if that's how microscopic reality. Well, but that's how physics work. Like, an ant can fall like thousands of feet, its equivalent, and be fine, or we can't. You know what I mean? It's just a different scale of, like, reality works differently when it gets smaller.
Just a nice metaphor, Andrew. Like Ant-Man's powers directly relate to time dilation in the quantum realm.
Yeah. Well, and then that brings in the Kang thing, and that brings in, because he's in Quantum Mania, and Kang is the boyfriend of this chick in this show, like in the comics.
Yeah.
But that centers them squarely around a quantum version of this, so it's like, oh, that's what the TVA could be, is it's in the quantum realm.
Yeah. And they got to be headed towards that, because that's been sort of the tie-in when they try to do their time travel. That's how they did it, was by way of the quantum realm.
Yeah, they did that, and there's no other like kind of heaven or some place in the Marvel universe. It's like, that's what it is. It's a realm where the only realm in Marvel universe where time works differently is the quantum realm.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure how the Nightmare department factors into that, but.
That's where Mephisto is.
We'll see him
eventually. Mephisto. And Nightmare. Is that like John Mulaney? Like Mephisto and Nightmare.
So I think that would be cool, because that
on Broadway.
Because that would get to where you have a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that would get to where that's how. Yeah, because you're totally right. That's how they handle time travel in this whole thing. It's like, it seems obvious.
It's definitely going to come into play.
As much as any quantum thing can make sense to my feeble mind.
Well, that's
what makes it like, just say it's quantum and people can't argue. Like, do you know quantum? No, you don't know quantum.
And remember, he does it. That's how Tony Stark figures. He's like, let me see it on a. Remember, he says, let me see it on a Mobius strip. That's how he does the time travel.
Yeah,
in Mobius. See, yeah.
So it's all coming together.
No, you figured out the whole show. Might as well not watch it now.
I think our theories aren't as bad as, like, I've saw also a couple of videos where they're talking about Loki. We talked about that before. Like, again, we're talking about Loki being after this show. So he's just going to be back. Like, is this variant's allowed to exist? And there's a multiverse, and Loki's just back. This new version of Loki could be in the mainstream.
He could
Marvel movies,
but who cares?
But who cares? But there was just some video I saw, or it came up after I was watching one of these other videos, and it said, well, Loki said in an interview, he said he got to play Loki on his 40th birthday. Like, he turned 40 in, it's like said February or something. Yeah, February of this year. And he's like, that can mean, I was like, that means they were doing reshoots. What are you talking about? Like, they're like insinuating he's on some movie set or something. I was like, well, it could, but also that was 4 months from now, so that could have been a reshoot. They shoot this stuff.
If he's a popular enough character, wouldn't surprise. They brought Black
I'm sure they're not going to get rid of
a whole movie. After she died.
Well, and this one, I mean, you could do that. I mean, who knows?
You could have a Loki flashback in Thor 4 for all we know.
You could have a Loki prequel if it's popular enough. Who knows?
Yeah, you could have a Loki movie.
Yeah, he could totally be in Loki 4, any of that stuff. So, I mean, Thor 4.
Loki 4.
We haven't even gotten to Loki 2 yet.
Thor 4.
Thor 4.
So, Thor 4. So I like this episode. It was sort of
This is
a
fun.
much more
I want to
subtle.
get Owen Wilson back in the mix, and I'll feel better about the whole thing. But
I want, and of course, people, if you're watching this and you've heard us do these Bottle Rocket quotes and stuff, go watch Bottle Rockets. You know what we're talking about. I want him to come back in the 90s, like put back into his original time as Dignan. Like he'll have the shirt and the haircut and be like, all right.
dressed in the jumpsuit, lawn wrestlers.
That was a
And it's just like, that's,
You
and then
look like
you
a
see him
little
and he walks
banana.
off. You know, that would
That was
just,
a
to me,
cute.
that would,
She's
that would
a
make
cute
me
little
happy.
kid. When I was a kid, I want to know what calls thunder.
Yeah, so I'm digging Loki.
It's fun. I'm
I
excited.
feel like they
I
throw
like.
in a lot of unnecessary fist fights just to, because that's
I think
what people
all
want, I
TV
guess.
shows have that problem because all TV shows always
They didn't
break
do that
down
in
into a
WandaVision.
karate fight. That's
Well-
true. WandaVision was pretty clever for that because
I
they
didn't
didn't
like
have
the
a lot
fight
of
at
action.
the end. It got a little hokey.
But that
the
was
problem
only
with
one
this-
episode. At
I
least.
mean, the problem with this episode, though, it is just one conversation. They get sat down and said all their things they need to say in it. And so they're like, how do we cut this up and make this happen in different places? And because also the inherent problem is there from the beginning. They're stuck on this planet. That we know that right from the beginning, the first.
Well, it's like you
moment.
said,
So
it's a
that's
bottle
like-
episode. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. We're stuck here, and therefore we have to bond
They-
as characters.
They actually
If you
said
need
this.
action in this setup, you have it. Just have them dodging things that are falling and exploding the whole time.
Sure.
That could be.
Well, they did at the
exciting.
beginning.
You don't have to have fist fights.
Well, I'm not saying you need.
I
to
kind of
fist
agree
fights.
with you on that one. I'm getting a little tired of seeing everybody karate fight in every TV show.
They said the showrunner Waldron, the guy, he's the same guy that's writing the Multiverse of Madness, the screenplay for that. But he said that they said that one of their influences for this show is those Before Sunrise movies, which like this episode feels like. I was like, really? That's a
Walkie-talkie.
weird reference.
It is
Yeah.
funny. It is
But
a fun
all the
kind of
episodes are that
walkie-talkie
because
idea.
it's just Owen Wilson and him talking. It's Mobius and Loki talking the entire time.
I
Both
like
episodes.
that. Yeah,
I know, but
like
I was
that.
like, yeah,
Especially in
I
the
get
first
that.
episode, I really liked that was the setup. It was
All these things
about
are just there's
having
some
those two have a
scenes.
conversation.
I
But
used
every
to call
scene is-
those walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
It's like this scene we're playing pool. The next scene we're
Again,
sitting at a bar. The next scene
a
we're
throwback
in a
to-
bookstore. Just
Right.
flipping through
90s
books.
throwback for sure. Like that's Bottle Rocket. That's Before
Right.
Sunrise, kicking and screaming.
Bottle Rocket's not that bad about that. I'm talking like
They do it
like,
in Bottle Rocket too. It's not a walkie-talkie because it has an internal plot structure. Like they're trying to do something. They're not just walking around talking about stuff. But a lot of the action is driven by the conversations that they're just having along the way. That's where the charm of the story comes from.
Yeah, but that's what this episode sort of plays out like with fights in there too. Like now they're sitting down having a drink. Now they're talking. Now they're stuck.
Yeah,
by the
this
side
is
of the road.
totally like walkie-talkie. I love it.
So it'd be interesting to see. Like I don't know. Like we were waiting to see. Like we're going to see the Time Lords and all the stuff. So I mean, if we're saying the only way they can
Time
get
Lords.
rescued, Time Lords. Yeah, they are time.
Timey-wimey.
But like,
kinda. I gotta go. I gotta put the kids to bed.
All right.
They're literally staring at me through
Well,
the
I
dog
guess.
door.
Thanks for
We have-
watching Watch Along,
We have
guys.
a kitty door. Oh, they're
Yeah.
opening the door.
I was about to say, it's like, how tall are your kids? He's like looking at foot off the ground. I was like, what is that?
I'm getting off right now. Hold on,
They
baby.
figured out how to get through the cat door.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll
All right.
see you
Thanks
guys.
for watching, everybody.
Thanks.
Like and subscribe.
Smash the like. Meow, 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 meow.
Seamless outro.
Okay. Bye, guys.